What's going on, guys? It is Trader Cause. Welcome to another episode of Kicking It with Cause. As always, these are brought to you by Bybit Official. They are a cryptocurrency derivatives exchange. They're my preferred exchange for leverage trading for multiple reasons that we've talked about before. If anyone has specific questions, I'd be happy to address them, but you guys kind of know the drill if you've been here quite a bit. If you're interested in checking out their exchange, feel free to do so with the link in the description. It will help me out and also let Bybit know that you guys are enjoying the streams and that I am worth their time. What's up, everybody? Glad you're all here. Yes, as Goldberg said, I was waiting for people to join. Where I'm from is a very tricky question. I'm a German citizen. I have an American father. I grew up in Germany, as well as West Africa. And I've also spent time in the United States. So it's kind of confusing. Would love a swing failure just under those lows for more upwards momentum. Yeah, I kind of want to take out this level. So quick recap from Tuesday. Today's Thursday, April. What? It is Thursday, July 1st. Tuesday was here. I was talking about how I wanted to see us either take out this level or this level and then get back above it to enter more longs. This one, obviously, we broke down below it and we were not able to get above it, so that trade never materialized. I could pull up my Twitter to kind of talk about a chart because I've changed my charts since then. So basically this one, we were looking for us to take out those lows and then get back above, but clearly we were unable to get back above. Also, I wanted to see a retest of 35.7 to short, and we fell short of that level. So pretty much no trades have been triggered, and I've kind of just been chilling throughout this region. My Ethereum plan played out pretty perfectly. Oh no, don't remind me of Germany. This tweet. Where in Germany? Stuttgart area, southern Germany. I'm Schwäbisch. Ethereum short played out really well. I didn't tweet an update to it in time, but I did take a small short myself. But yeah, I'm not trying to claim clout or anything for that because I didn't tweet about it. I mean, I tweeted the plan, but I never updated saying like, oh, I'm entering here, which I feel like I shouldn't really need to do because people don't really need me to hold their hand, but it is what it is. So that was kind of the short plan. I think it's the same drawing, or did I have to redo it? No, yeah, that one. It was just zoomed out a little more. So I was looking for us to sweep these highs. It didn't quite like hit that other resistance level, but the fact that we swept both of these highs as well as took out Monday's high, that was the short signal. And we did take those out, break down here, pretty much retest Monday's high, and nuked from there. It could have been a little cleaner. Like sometimes it's easier to enter when we actually like trade above it and then break down below versus just this and then that. But, you know, you kind of need to adapt given the current price action. And Moltaschen and Spätzle, it's exactly right. I pretty much grew up eating those things. You know your stuff, Power Spacer. My grandma, my Oma, makes the absolute best multashen that I have had in my entire life. And I've had some good food. Also, her spätzle is perfect. So, what's up, Spaceman? Thanks for being here. What's up, Spaniardo? Sorry I didn't see every single message. Do I ride a Benz? I actually drive a truck right now because I'm into camping and overlanding. So I'm actually putting a tent on the back of my truck so I can just drive wherever and sleep there. It's pretty cool. So yeah, Ethereum plan kind of played out pretty well. And now that's played out, I'm going to delete it. Well, I'll just hide it. Maybe I should tweet an update just so I don't leave that. Sometimes I just forget to update tweets. Maybe I should do more threads. Just Google it and now I want some. They're delicious. Okay, so let's talk about Bitcoin, and then I'll talk about Ethereum. We'll look at some alts, and then we'll do some Q&A. If you have any specific questions, if you have questions about what we're currently analyzing, then go ahead and send them. But if you have generic questions about anything else, then just save them because I probably won't see them right now. So, 180 something people in here. Thank you all for being here. If you can like the video, that'd be cool. Helps with the YouTube algo. And with that being said, now let's finally jump into some analysis. I am kind of hungry since we've been talking about some classic Southern German food. So, all right. I don't think it looks bad right now. The one thing I'm worried about is this 4-hour candle. There's no low. You guys know I don't like that. Pretty much every single candle always puts in a low and a high with a wick. So it's unusual to not have one. As you can see, that's right here. So I kind of think we take that out. But the fact that we had this nice sweep right into demand, filled in this inefficiency, whatever you want to call it, liquidity gap, I don't care. Everyone has names for their own thing. They try and call it their own name to take credit for inventing a concept, when in reality, we're all doing the exact same thing, more or less. So that sweep kind of looks good, but the flat bottom there makes me look a little iffy, or makes me feel a little iffy. I think it would be cool if we wick down into here and then go up. Then I would feel more comfortable. But as we were speaking about earlier, the key is either... Okay, well, two main scenarios. The first one, let this do its thing, consolidate, let it dip down again if it's gonna, maybe not that far for this scenario. Let it dip down again, consolidate, let it do its thing, and I will be stepping into long positions if we can trade back above Monday's low. If we can get back above Monday's low, I will look for longs and I will be expecting near-term upside, monthly open, and then does my other one have other targets in that region? Monthly open, which is basically the mid-range, would kind of be the main one, right? So that's one scenario I'm looking for. And for that scenario to play out, it can chop around here for as long as it wants and then do this later. It could do it tomorrow. Whatever it wants to do, let it do its thing. Don't try and overthink this area and just wait, okay? Because this is what happens. And music. You're right. Thank you. Okay. Let me know if that let me know if that volume's fine. Okay. All right. Let me get back to business, back to focus. What I was saying. I don't want you to be trading a bunch in here and getting chopped up. and I know that's kind of what happens because it used to happen to me a lot, right? I'd be like, oh, we might bounce from here. The higher probability idea is waiting for it to claim or flip that resistance. So maybe I could be trading in here, right? And I'm like, let's zoom in just a little. Let's say I'm like, oh wow, this like close looks good, and then I enter along like right here with a stop at the low, right, on this candle. Let's say I do that. Enter on that candle with a stop at the low because I'm like, you know what? We had a sweep into this demand, origin of the move, blah, blah, blah. The low could be in here. So let's say you enter a trade right there. And then now you start to see it pull back and you're like, okay, this is actually bearish. You mark it out. Well, it's around break even, but you just lost a little money. You also paid fees. It was unnecessary, right? And let's say this keeps pulling back more. And then you're like, you know what? I kind of think this is going to break down. This looks kind of bearish. You enter a short. And then it starts to bounce a little bit more, and you're like, oh no, my original idea was right. I'm going to flip long again. And then you just keep, they could be small losses because you're trading in and out of them fast, but those are the kind of emotions you go through in this type of a region. So if the low is in here, just wait. And if we do this, if we break back above, then all of a sudden we're back in this range, we're more confident that it's going up, and we feel safe with a stop at this low, right? Because we would have had this entire consolidation that we broke out of, and now we have this whole support area protecting our stop loss. Right now, if you enter the long, you don't really feel safe with your stop loss right there because it could just go down and still be in this range, right? It could still just be consolidating. So wait for that break, wait for the higher probability setup, and then we're still getting in with a pretty good risk to reward, right? Like if we bid this level with a stop there, our stop loss is 3.6% away. Like that's not bad at all. TP1 gets you 2.8R. TP2 is like 6, 7, right? Like that's a pretty tight entry. And that's a tight entry even after waiting for extra, confirmation. Because as we talked about in the last episode, like this sweep and that candle close could potentially have been like confirmation, so to speak. All right. But you would be in a very tight position, right? With a super tight stop loss right here of like 1.3%. But I would just have a ton of anxiety in that trade. I'd be worried because there's barely any support between me and my stop loss. And it's like, this hasn't shown us anything bullish. So why would we be getting overly bullish here? Like if we zoom in even more, it's consistently making lower highs. There's weakness. And it's like, yes, it was a nice sweep with a good V recovery, but that doesn't automatically mean that we have to go up from here, right? Like this was a good V recovery. This was a good one too, but that doesn't mean anything. So I like to see a good recovery, but then also flip a resistance level to make me more confident in the low being in. So originally last week, we were streaming, and I'm pretty sure we were right around here. It was around the daily close on Tuesday, so it was like right here. This is when we were streaming on Tuesday. And basically, we were interested in longs around this level and around this level. The low could be in here, but for this idea to trigger, for me to enter this trade, I need to see it get back above, let's say 34K, just for simplicity. Get back above 34K, then I'm confident the low is in. Could the low be in? Yes. I'm just not confident enough to put my money behind that idea. Right? And but this is the time where we want to pay attention because it's around our area of interest. Because if this does get back above here, then this, whatever you want to call it, a deviation, a sweep, whatever, we took out Monday's low, trapped shorters, stopped them out, stopped out early longers, whatever, get back above here, and then I think we're bullish for the rest of the week. All right, that's scenario 1. Scenario 2 is we do the same thing. I'll make this look pretty for you guys. Basically, we break down again like this. I guess I could have done a little better. Let's do a little more. Let's say we break down again like this, take out these stop losses, and then reclaim this level, and now this 32.4 becomes the same idea, whatever. I don't know how to say that good. English is hard. This becomes our new like must break level, okay, which is Monday's low right now. So we'd be able to get the same type of entry with a relatively tight stop loss, right? Like whatever it's going to be, 3.4%, obviously the same because I copied that price action. And then that's our entry. So right now it's like there's absolutely no reason to just force a trade. This whole time I've been comfortably just waiting patiently, tried to get a short right up here, but it ran away fast. So I was like, okay, I'll just wait patiently. And like if you've had patience problems before, which like I've had, when I first started trading, I was like, okay, I need to always be in a trade. I need to be in a trade, blah, blah, blah. And when you kind of learn to overcome that and just wait for your levels, wait for your specific plan to play out and not make stupid decisions, it honestly feels like fulfilling to not be in a trade because you know you're following your plan. So to recap, we're looking for a flip of that level or further downside and then a breakout above this. So basically what we're doing right here, but just down here. Because this hasn't confirmed yet. Like I said, can it be the bottom? Yes. Am I comfortable like saying this is the bottom? No, I'm not. So now we just wait. We wait to see if price can flip this really clean SR level, which happens to be like Monday's low. Because like you can see, held this support really well here, held this support here, held this support here. If you zoom in, it looks even better. Like just how obvious this support level is. Right, so getting back above that, then I like our chances more of this trade playing out. So just be patient and wait for the setup to come to you. Okay. You're not missing out on anything. Like, sure, you could try and catch a tight entry right on this candle close because you're like, oh, this could be it. But let's zoom in a little. Let's say you do that. You catch a really great entry, but you know that your stop loss is tight and that with any weakness, it could just come back down and take it. So if I take you back to this, you see that 5-minute candle close like that, you're like, oh my goodness, this looks like it's coming right back down and I could probably re-enter like down here somewhere. So you cut it. And it's like, well, that was the wrong decision because it went up. But it's like you shouldn't have been in that trade in the first place. Emotions in trading can be put to rest so easily with patience, proper position sizing, a plan, like a plan prior to when it's actually happening, and that's pretty much it. Like, if you're in a comfortable position size, you have a clear invalidation level, you followed your plan, if this happens, I'm comfortable entering my trade right here and going to sleep with my stop loss there, and I wake up, whatever happens, happens. Or I turn off my computer and just let it play out because I'm confident in the setup. I'm not stressing that I'll lose too much if it goes there. And when you can take those emotions out of trading, you start making so many better decisions. You don't get chopped up in the noise because your decisions aren't emotionally driven. Right? Does that make sense to everybody? If you're in a way too big of a position size, then as soon as you see like a little weakness, you're like, okay, this is going to stop me out. I'm cutting it. Right? Lose money. And then after it goes down, you see it go back up and you're like, okay, this is going back up. I'm re-entering, big position size, stop loss there. Then it gets rejected right here at the range high again. And you're like, oh no, this is going back down. Cut it. Maybe it goes like this. You short it right there because you think it's going lower, and then it goes back up. And that's just all because you tried to overtrade it. You were in too big of a position size that stressed you out. Like if you truly just wanted to long that setup, maybe you took it like with half risk or whatever. And if your position size is comfortable, then it's like you don't need to overthink every single 5-minute candle where you see some weakness thinking that you need to cut it, right? You can just be more relaxed. You can let it all play out and you'll be fine. Like it's okay if you get stopped out. All right, so I hope that rant was kind of helpful. Let me try and catch up with the chat. I hope that makes sense though. Like, don't enter a huge position because then you'll be more likely to make emotional decisions. And just wait for your plan to play out. Don't try and overthink it in the meantime. So let me take a sip of coffee and then try and get through some of the stuff in the chat. Do I ladder in? When I set limits, I do. And sometimes otherwise, like if I'm waiting for more confirmation. Like, hey, maybe I entered 25% of the position here, something that I would be comfortable with if this rolled over and stopped me out. And then if it does this, I enter the additional 75. You could do that too. You kind of just need to see what works for you. Thank you. I really need to hear this. That's been my number one killer with trading. I'm glad to hear that, bro. Makes perfect sense. Do I think ETH is forming a head and shoulders? We can talk about that later. If you're a holder, does it make sense to think about stop losses? I think you can. Well, if you want to hold for the long term, then no. I don't think you need to. I think you should just dollar cost average with every paycheck or whatever, take however much you're comfortable putting into crypto and just slowly keep averaging in. And yeah, I don't think you need to worry about it in that sense. I think you can use stop losses for spot, but if your goal is like long-term holding, you believe in the technology behind Bitcoin, then like keep going for it. Like if that's your investment plan, then it's like I don't think you need to try and overthink it on lower time frames. You explained this well, my man. I like the patience in this. Thank you, brother. Best live stream, great advice. Do you use limit by that level? It kind of depends what it looks like. So I think other people have been asking. The Spaniardo said, how do you enter that trade? Do you set alerts? I'm assuming you don't set bids until it bounces off that level. Yeah, so it's kind of tricky, and there's a couple different ways of doing it. Like if we go up here and we start closing back above 34, 33.8, you can just mark it in with a stop loss there, or you can try and get it on a retest with limits. Like if it does something like this, it's kind of up to you. If we do get a strong breakout out of here, I'm going to zoom in a little just so the drawing tool is a little easier to use. If we get like if we get a strong impulsive break out of here, then I would be pretty comfortable just setting limits here, look for our retest and go. But also, you guys know I like the hourly time frame to make sure you get your entry. If we get a nice strong move up. Oops. Nice strong move up here. You could just enter at market there with a stop loss there. Because as long as we like close some candles above here, then it's like I'm convinced we've broken out of this smaller range. We're now trading somewhere in here, and I have two areas of support, or like two levels between me and the stop loss. Like we have this, which is now protecting us because we've broken out, and then also this support, which we hope it doesn't have to get to, but we have that as protection in between us and our stop loss. But you trigger, is the retest of the reclaim level right? What if there is no retest? Yeah, so I kind of just answered that. A more aggressive entry technique would be marketing in on the candle close back within the level. And it's like I'd be pretty comfortable doing that. So let's say it consolidates for a bit longer, and then we get like a nice strong candle. Let's say it closes right here at 33,950. 33,950. Stop loss there. Like that's not a bad entry. This is still 2.5R, which like I'll take 2.5R any day. That's money. If you're risking 1% of your account, you basically make 2.5% on your entire account if that plays out and you did the quote more aggressive entry. So if you waited a little, take the risk and set limits to see if you get filled, sure, you could get a little more, a little higher risk to reward, but I'm perfectly comfortable entering with a market order if we get something like that. However, there are some caveats to that, right? Like, it does come down to discretion sometimes because, as you guys know, like I don't like those early day, first candle of the day, whatever pumps. So like if this consolidates here a little bit, new daily candle just goes like this. Well, maybe not that high. New daily candle just goes like this. I probably wouldn't mark it in on that. I would want to see a little bit more price action. So yeah, it does come down to some discretion, but to answer the original question, you can either leave limits to see if it retests that little mini range, or you can just mark it in with a strong candle close above. All right. I got chopped up bad today. I need to learn patience and maybe just pay attention to larger time frames. Yeah, zooming out can definitely help you a bit, bro. Bear case, we'll talk about that soon. When you're talking about bottom, you mean 28.8K one? I don't remember what I was saying. Sorry. That message is from a little while ago, so I don't remember. Causes the voice of reason I need to hear right now, making me a better trader. I'm glad to hear that. You prefer trading SR flips instead of low high sweeps, liquidations? I trade a couple different types of entries. Some of them have to do with sweeps. Some of them are like just retests of levels. So it kind of depends. Does he use other TA or only SR? Sorry, I'm tuning in. Hey Falcon, thanks for tuning in. Good to have you here. I primarily trade a combination of ranges, supply and demand, liquidity, and then some basic SR. Are alts going to dust? If so, do they recover by end of the year? I don't know. We kind of need to take that one step at a time. All right. Just scroll back down. I think I caught most of them. Daily open usually gets faded. It happens quite a bit. So I don't like to trade the first couple hours of the day, just like I don't like to trade on Mondays. What's up, Sunjuice? Can you consider a failed breakout deviation and new resistance formed? A failed breakout. I mean, yeah, if we test this level, I would say this is resistance right now, if that's the region you're talking about. I'm mostly talking about leverage trading, Mr. Fish. I always have the same question. By sweeping the lowest price makes the lower low, is that bullish or bearish? I think it kind of depends. So, like, Yeah, it does depend on context. If it truly is just a sweep, I don't really consider it a lower low. I don't know anything about ICP. Sorry, bro. High cost, how would you determine your stop loss for your upcoming trade? So, kind of like I said earlier, if we do something like this, my stop loss is right there at 32.6, give or take. I gotta drop off, my man. Love the stream, as always. Very informative. Thanks for tuning in, bro. When do you cut a trade if TP1 doesn't get hit? When my trade gets invalidated, I guess is the easiest answer. Or if there's new data that makes me question things. So let's say this plays out, right? Just to use this as an example because we're close. Let's say this is my TP1, but I know that I need to put last week's Monday's high back on here because that's a key level we've been working with. I have it on my other chart. But we know that we have some resistance at both of these green levels. So let's say we come up here and tap this level and sweep both of these highs. That would probably be enough for me to close my trade, take my whatever 1R, and just wait for the next setup. So it kind of depends on the specific setup, but that's a example based on what we're currently seeing and what setup like we might get right here. But it is a lower low. I mean, it depends how you look at it. Right? Like, if we turn this into a line chart, it gets rid of all the noise from the wicks. So like here was our low, this was a lower low, these were lower lows. Lower high, lower high, lower high. This one actually made a higher high. But so like a line chart is based on the candle closes. So it kind of depends. Usually if there's a sweep, I'm not too concerned about it making a lower low. And also in general, when we're within a range, I'm less concerned about the like basic market structure because I don't like it doesn't have to follow the same market structure rules as it did during an uptrend like this or an uptrend like this, because now we're just in a range, so it's a little different market condition. But I understand your question. For the most part, I won't really consider a sweep as a break in market structure, but that is up for debate. Market maker sell model kind of looks like it. Just tuning in now, are you saying this is resistance? Yeah, I mean, this level was some clear support, so we consider it to be resistance until it breaks. But if you're just tuning in, I think you can like rewind or watch the beginning later, and I kind of talk through this entire setup. There's no way really for me to zoom in on these numbers. But like you can just mark it on your chart, you know, like mark Monday's range here, and then you know what level this lines up with. So, okay. Am I looking to short at all? Yes. For instance, I mean, I think the short opportunity, we've kind of missed it. Like, I do think this could come down for one more leg into here and take out this low. But for the most part, I'm not super interested. Like, I was looking for shorts here, and I was mostly planning for a short scenario there, but didn't get the entry. And now that we've dropped 10%, I think I've missed the meat of the move. So I'm not quite as interested in shorts. However, if we do get a setup, I might take it. For instance, I've been drawing this range over and over that I keep deleting. We know this is very clear SR, right? So we have obvious resistance at 34K. We're kind of forming a bit of a lower time frame range here. If we do get like a early day pump and we just wick those high, like take out these highs and close back below this SR level, I would be looking at a short targeting down here. If we sweep those highs, I think it lowers the probability that we push from there, because then it would look to me like they wanted to just take some liquidity from here, whoever, and then go down a bit. Sorry guys, give me just a second. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, if we do get a sweep, then I would be open to a short, especially if it happens at the right time of day. Like if we get a daily open pump and take out that high, then I'd be more inclined to looking for a short there. And I know a lot of times we talk about how you know whether it's going to be a rejection or if it's going to like hold on the retest and go. You kind of need to just pay attention. But one clue I can give you is that if it makes a really strong impulsive move through it and like creates some distance between the resistance that it just broke and where price is, then it's usually a legitimate breakout. Whereas if it breaks above just a little and is like immediately rejected, like either turns into a wick or just the next candle breaks down below, then I would probably say it's a fake out. So those things you kind of just need to learn with time. So that is pretty much Bitcoin. To recap, for anyone who's here, the main scenarios I'm looking for are a move below this level and then a reclaim, like a dip into this demand origin, whatever you want to call it, and get back above. Then I'll look for longs, or if we can get back above this 33.9 level, then I'll be looking for longs as well. So those are pretty much the two scenarios. There is the opportunity for a short around here if we sweep this high, but that would be a lower time frame trade, so I'm not really gonna talk about it too much. Like, I would say these are the higher confirmation, higher time frame trades that I'm looking for. Funny, to be honest, we pumped 10% bull market in full effect, dropped 10 and everyone's bearish. Yep, that is how it goes on CT. Can you help me, because I always end up round tripping my trade? For example, my entry was 33.6, didn't TP at 36, and sold back down to my entry. I think you can set up rules to take profit in increments, or when we get to a resistance level, you could enter a short to hedge against that. Also, Goldbird, how do you buy your position size? I know how to calculate, but only can buy amounts of BTC. So it depends where you're trading. If you're trading on FTX, they use USD contracts. If you're trading on Bybit, they also use USD contracts. There are usually good position size calculators on each exchange, so those could help you. But yeah, usually one contract equals $1. But yeah, Neon, if that's happening to you pretty consistently, then it looks, and you've like noticed that from your journaling, then I think you can start to like test implementing some other rules, like taking profit in increments or taking profit earlier. It's good that you have that data, but yeah, if trades keep coming back to break even for you, I would say look to take profit earlier in increments or enter shorts to hedge that, or there's a few different things that you can do. Goldbird, you're on Binance Futures. I have never traded on that, but yeah, but only can buy amounts of BTC. Is it size divided by That sounds right. Like if you want to buy, to make it simple, 16,750 contracts, that would just be like half a Bitcoin. It would be whatever the current or entry price is. Why don't I trade on Mondays? I like to let the first day of the week play out just to kind of get a feel for it, and I like having Mondays low and Mondays high to work with. Do I have any positions open? I still have some of my Bitcoin long, and I have an Ethereum short. Did you buy back your spot you sold at 40K? I'd really appreciate if you talk about your spot trading too. Yeah, so I think we talked about it a little in the last stream, but I thought I talked about it. Basically, all the spot that I sold, I guess it was more in this area, after that sweep, I bought back in between 30 and 31. Didn't catch any here, but then when we revisited this level, I guess more so 31.5, was able to get some in there. I haven't closed any of that though. I'll be looking to close these spot buys at 42. It's kind of the spot plan, the medium term spot plan. Let's see. What do you do when you take an L? Well, it depends. I mean, I just keep trading. Like, losses are part of trading, you know? You just need to brush it off and keep doing your thing. And if you're consistently like losing money, then take a step back, reassess your strategy, look to trade in a different way, etc. When's the best place to buy spot? I panicked, sold at 31.5. I mean, I can't really tell you exactly. I've been posting range charts on Twitter a lot, something like this, and it's like, sell your spot up here when everyone's getting euphoric and bullish, buy your spot down here when everyone tells you the bear market is here. But I mean, for right now, I think you just wait a little. If we start flipping some resistance levels, you can try and get in some spot back, but it's different for everyone. I can't really tell you exactly what you need to do. You can do what you want hearing like how I'm playing things, but I can't give advice on your like specific situation, man. Joining late, what up, Kaz? What up, Kyle? Any good tool for journaling and paper trading? journaling, you can use a Discord server that you just like make, and it's just yours, and you can have different sections. You can use an Excel spreadsheet, whatever you want. Paper trading, if you want to like truly paper trade, I know BitMEX has a demo, but I think it's helpful to just put like $50 or $100 in an exchange, because then it's like, it's okay if you lose it, but you actually have to like enter trades, and it can give you some more like live testing. How much did I lose before I became profitable? I didn't make money for about a year, other than some lucky stuff. Have you ever margin traded on KuCoin? No, I have not. What do you think about the liquidity voids below 33K? What do you mean? Do you mean below like this? Below 33? We kind of just took that all out. Yeah, Edge Sheet is kind of cool. Edge Wonk is also good. Coin Market Man links up to your API, which is kind of cool. Cause, did you short Tomo with me? I did not, Angle, but maybe I should have. Are you more bearish than you were last stream? No, I would say less bearish. Like here, I was looking for a rejection and a pullback, but now I'm starting to look for new longs. Like on Tuesday, I was saying I don't want to enter longs up here. This is when you take profit on your longs. We'll look to re-enter and compound later. This is where you want to short. And now I'm pretty close to saying this is where I want to long. Like if either of these play out, then that's how I want to long. Do I ever scalp? Yeah, a little bit, but not a ton. And I don't really post about it on Twitter, because I'll just get people in the replies like, oh, you switch your bias so fast, you were just long, now you're short, blah 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 blah. And I don't want to have to deal with that, because it's just annoying, and those people like don't know that. Like sometimes when you post stuff on Twitter, you can say I'm bearish, but that might mean you're bearish for the next 30 minutes, not the next 30 days. Like I try to not do that too much, because I don't know, just leads to confusion. Did I ever have massive drawdowns, and how did you recover from it? I've had some good size drawdowns throughout my time of trading, and I think it helps to make sure you adjust your risk, try and identify what went wrong, take a step back, and then come back to it, and don't try and make it all back immediately, even though that's kind of a meme. Yeah. Do you think we'll see another weekend dump starting tonight, tomorrow? I don't know. It's been the case every weekend since the crash. I would say that's because we've kind of, I don't know, that's how it's lined up. And obviously, like, it makes sense that every weekend dropped, I mean, we can try and look. I wish I could just highlight weekends. I don't know. I'm trying to just like play the current price action as it comes. It's kind of the same thing as people were saying the Asian session dumps every single day. But it's like, no, we were just bearish for the last 5 days, or whatever the case was, you know. I want along with you, but Cred says don't diddle in the middle. Yeah, I mean, it all depends what time frame you're playing. Like, this was the time to enter swing longs, and I still have swing longs open from there. When you zoom out, you could say we're kind of in the middle of, like, might not want to trade that level, but, you know, it all comes down to your system. And for me, both of these are valid setups, so I will take them. Plans for ETH, we'll talk about it shortly. Please recap the short scenarios. The short scenarios were last week. Like for Bitcoin, it was take out Monday's high and drop below. For Ethereum, the short scenario was the exact same thing. I hid it, but it's right there. It was to take out these highs and Monday's high and break back down below. But now those have kind of played out, so I'm not looking for immediate shorts right now. There is a low time frame short that I'd be interested in taking around 34K, but it's not like, it's too low of a time frame for me to want to post about it much on Twitter. Basically, it would just be a rejection from this level. And then you look to play it down to here and then here. But that's pretty much the only short scenario right now. Last stream we were looking for shorts because we were pretty extended. This stream we're looking for bullishness. We don't have it here yet. I'm not bullish or bearish right here. I'm looking for longs if they validate my setups, but do I know of anyone who does what I do with scalp trading? I know a few scalpers, but I mean, I wouldn't say there's anyone that trades exactly how I do. All right. Let's see. No problem, Juan. How much time per day do I spend on trading? Depends on the day. When I do have like research or journaling or whatever, things like that to catch up on, then more hours. I would say like on average 6 to 8, something like that. But sometimes it's like I can do other stuff during the day. Like I can go make myself lunch while I keep an eye on things. So, I mean, I don't think you need to sit at your desk the entire time. But also, like if you scalp low time frames, then you need to be at your desk more. Kind of all depends. With both of these, you don't have limits set. So, that's correct. I do not have limits set. If we get a candle like this, but on a bigger scale, like right here, where it wicks down to like this and then closes back up here. Say it closes one of those. Looks like a tadpole. Then I would just mark it in because I would think the low is in. Or if it, like either we get a liquidation, a bunch of liquidations, whatever, stop outs, and then quick buyback back above, I would just mark it in. If we do something like we're doing here, where it just consolidates for longer, then I just want to see price, like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain exactly, but I want to see price break out, spend time above, maybe close some candles, but there's no like general rule I have where it's like must be 2 candles or 3 or 1. You know, it kind of comes down to a case by case basis. But like I said, one of the clues would be like an impulsive move out of this would give me more confidence versus like a grind up that like rejects there right away. But you kind of just, I kind of just try and watch it. Do I have a video about journaling? We've talked about it pretty extensively in a couple streams. I don't remember exactly which one. I think it was like 2 streams ago. Maybe the Spaniardo remembers. He's in like all of them. And I usually tweet kind of what I talked about in the video. So if you like search the keyword journaling in my tweets, you might be able to find it through that. How much percentage of my ETH short do I have open? Just 40%. I'm probably closing the rest of it soon. The targets were basically was here and then possibly here and possibly here. If Bitcoin does this scenario, then I'll just close the rest of it. But if it starts to roll over, I'll be a little patient. Sorry if I've missed some of your guys' questions. We have more people than usual today. Yeah, we talked about that at the beginning of the video. Casino 39. There's no low, and that makes me a little uncomfortable. No wick to the downside. which like every candle, I feel a little uneasy when we have those. So that's another reason I'm kind of just waiting. It could do something like this, give it a wick to the bottom, do a little triple tap of this low at 32.9 and then go up. So we'll see. Just waiting, just being patient. What leverage do I normally use depending on time frames, right? Well, leverage just depends on position size. So if you haven't already, I'd recommend you watch my risk management video that kind of debunks some of the myths about leverage. Like if I have a position size of $10,000, I'm not going to draw all that out, with 10x leverage, or a position size of $10,000 with 1x leverage, all that changes is the collateral that I put up. But it's still a $10,000 position size. And liquidation price moves, but that should never really be a concern. But if leverage is confusing, yeah, I would recommend watching the risk management video. What's my weekly R goal? I would say about 5 is a goal. What up, Cody? That's my guy. I wouldn't say I always hit that goal. Like I'm happy with 1 R in a week. I'm happy with 2 R. But I'd say if I had a goal to shoot for, I think 5 would be fair. Don't always get it, but I think it's a good goal. Could you show us a setup you had confluence with Monday's high or low? Sure. This one right here. The most recent trade I took. Ethereum had Monday's high from last week. That was untapped. We came here, we swept it, we broke down, retested it right there, and that was a nice short opportunity. So there's a good. Five is a lot. Yeah, I mean, that's why it's a goal, I guess. Like, I mean, maybe I should say like 2.5. I'm happy with like a 10 to 15 R month. If I make 10% on my account in a month, I'm pretty happy with that. So maybe like 2.5 is a better average goal. But 5, like if I hit 5R, like 2.5 R trades or whatever, sometimes I'll just call it a week because it's like I'll be happy with the money I've made. Thanks for linking that there, Spaniardo. When people keep asking about leverage, I feel that implies they're staking their whole bankroll on one trade. Right, yeah. Leverage matters if you're going all in because it moves your position, or it moves your liquidation price. But if you're going all in with leverage, you got to think that also changes your position size. And so when it comes down to it, position size is what matters. Every weekend since the crash, there's been a sizable dump. Starts at New York time Thursday night, Friday morning. Another dump Saturday morning. Sunday typically marks the recovery. I think you were talking about that earlier. And I mean, I think you're right. There has been a pattern there. And so if I get a short setup that lines up well, then great. Like I'll have extra confluence, I guess. But I don't think, like, it wouldn't really meet my rules to just take a short expecting that. I guess I could size down a little bit on a long setup. I don't know. I don't love weekends in general, so. Why did you take that each short after the retest? I thought the first test would be more likely to reject. I don't fully understand the question. Yeah, Goldbird. R is the shortened version of RR, which stands for risk to reward. I kind of talk about RR or R, whatever you want to call it, in the risk management video as well. The one the Spaniardo linked. Okay, let's talk about Ethereum because we've pretty much just been doing like Q&A and stuff. and hanging out talking about Bitcoin. At least we did like a deep dive into the Bitcoin plans. So Ethereum looks a little different than Bitcoin. Monday's low is way down here. The short scenario played out really well though, which is good. But now we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we're also forming a bit of a range here, just like Bitcoin. And if we break out back above Monday's high, I think that would be a nice long setup, and that you could line it up and time it together with this trade, which could add some nice confluence, right? I don't really want to short this right now because it's literally sitting on support. Like, this was resistance here, support all throughout here, and then also this level has been resistance this entire time. So I mean, it's pretty much this whole region has been pretty pivotal for Ethereum, if you will. Resistance all throughout here, support all throughout here. So I just don't want to short sitting right on top of that. I do think, I mean, yeah, the short was cleaner for Ethereum than it was for Bitcoin, because it like really got above Monday's high for a bit. So yeah, it just wasn't as clean. It didn't scream rejection to me as much as this one did. But now it's in a different spot, and ETH is more or less in no man's land for me right now. I think if it does come down and kind of take out all these stragglers, all those lows, and then push up, then I think that's probably the higher probability long. But I'm pretty much going to just try and time things with Bitcoin. Like, when Ethereum looks more clear, then I'll trade Ethereum. If Bitcoin looks more clear, then I'll trade Bitcoin, but I can also take a trade on Ethereum if they line up together, especially if I'm expecting it to be more volatile, right? So if Bitcoin and Ethereum both do that setup, then I'll probably long both of them and expect more volatility and probably also some strength from Ethereum. Like, overall, it has been stronger. Like, you can see, here is Monday's low for Bitcoin. We're trading below it. Ethereum's way above Monday's low. So that's kind of a good way to gauge what's been stronger this week. If we look at ETH BTC, look at that. From Tuesday, the bullish plan is playing out. So we've kind of broken out from this little bit of consolidation, or broken out from this, above this. I would say we've kind of broken the market structure to the upside. So as long as this region kind of holds, I don't know exactly how you want to, you can draw it however you want, then I expect a further push up to here. So that'd be like a 10% move. And so that means Ethereum would likely, outperform Bitcoin. So like I said earlier, if we do get this same setup for Bitcoin and Ethereum above this resistance level, then I'll definitely take the Ethereum one as well, because I expect it to go up more, because ETH BTC looks more bullish. You outlined Monday low and high, like literally lowest and highest on Monday. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Which session, it doesn't really matter. It's just the entire day. So you can see this was Monday. Low is here at 1961. The high is up here at 2145. It doesn't have to be during a specific session, just within that daily candle. So Let's see. I think someone asks why I use Monday's range in every single live stream. It's okay. It's kind of funny. Because no one on Twitter has like a clear guide about it. Why do I use it, or why is it important? I would say it's because when people take trades early in the week, their stop losses are going to be at Monday's low and Monday's high. So it's an area of liquidity. And also, when you think about a high or a low of a daily candle, it's this one right here. And when you trade above a previous day's daily candle, you'd expect like to be able to retest that and push up further. So then that's why it can also be used as SR. And reclaims of the high and low, like if you look from a daily perspective, if we get back above this level, that daily candle would look pretty good. So SR as well as liquidity. And I would say it's more important than other daily candles because it kind of sets the tone for the week. What are my thoughts on Sol? Same thoughts as Tuesday when we talked about this. Really nice, very clear SR level there. Need to see us break above this. Not just a tiny move above it. I want to see us push away impulsively, show strength, break through that level, not just kind of walk right above it. And then I'd be interested in some longs, or if it takes out Monday's low, I'd be interested in longs. Sol has just been consolidating. All right, guys. I think that's pretty much going to be it for me today. We got a good amount of Q&A. I hope my Bitcoin analysis is clear. And obviously, if we can nail Bitcoin, then it's like you can have a clearer direction for what other coins are going to do. What else did we talk about? What did we talk about today? If anyone wants to write me a summary, because sometimes I forget. No, I'm just kidding. But like topics. What did you guys, is there anything specific you guys got from the stream today? I guess we kind of talked about the importance of patience. I'm trying to think about what to put in my recap tweet, which A, will help people who missed it, and B, if you want to go back and watch them, if I can have like little recaps, then I think specific ones will be easier to find. So let's see, we talked about the current scenarios we're looking for. We talked about the importance of patience. I feel like there was something else that like people really resonated with. Thanks, Bleep Blork. I appreciate that. Don't trade on Mondays. That's true. I do say that. I got that causes German and has been all over the world. Yeah, it's always complicated when people ask me where I'm from. Oh, yeah. Confirm break. I like it, Spaniardo. Oh, and position sizing and emotions. It was something like that. Emotions in trading. Yeah. And patience. Good German food. That's true. Maybe I'll throw that in there. All right, guys. If you stuck around this long, really appreciate you being here, tuning into the stream. I will be live again on Tuesday at probably around the same time. thank you for tuning in and supporting the stream. And like I said, these are all brought to you by Bybit. If you want to support the content, you can check out the stream below. You can just deposit a little bit and get familiar with the exchange. If you like it, then you can make the switch over. If not, it's all good. No hard feelings. And if you have any questions, feel free to DM me and I will do my best to respond. Sometimes it gets difficult. I don't think there have been very many people who still have their DMs open, but I try to keep them open. It's just hard to get around to them all. Anyway, appreciate you all. We'll talk soon. And as always, I will continue to post updates on Twitter as the market continues to play out. So